Awesome. So, hi everyone. Hi, Team Elevate, and welcome to week 8. We're going really well in the 90-day game plan. I'm really excited for this call. Sorry we couldn't have it live for you all, but we are all at university in action. So, we're all getting pumped up, motivated, inspired, educated, and yes, hopefully next week we'll all lift to a whole new level. So, I'm recording this call today, the day before University in Action. So I'm very excited about seeing David Wood again tomorrow. And I have a special guest on the call tonight. So the call tonight is going to be all about network marketing as a profession. So I would say, our most professional network marketer in Isagenix in this country right now. And I would like to welcome Paul McAneny. So Paul, welcome to our call.
Thanks, Kerry. Thanks, Team Elevate, for having me on, and I'm really excited. I'm going to see David Wood tomorrow as well, so I'll probably see a lot of you there. So thanks for having me on the call. Very excited.
Yeah, awesome. So just to give you a little bit of background about Paul's and his beautiful partner, Suzanne Skillen, who some of us know as one of the most beautiful women in Isagenix in Australia. Paul and Suzanne are our 115th Millionaire. I think we're up to about 130 now, are we, Paul?
No, we just hit 100. I think we just hit 189.
What? Oh, sorry, Catherine. I must have missed something. 189.
You must have been asleep. It must have been asleep.
Well, it was quite a while ago that you guys hit Millionaire anyway. You're also 9-star platinum, four-star executives, so you've got lots of stars and platinums and all that. But what is most important, I think, are the thousands and thousands of people that you've helped within Isagenix and within the industry, I guess, the profession of network marketing. So to kick us off, would it be okay if you gave us a little bit of a background of how you came to Isagenix?
Yeah, sure. I've been in the industry for 30 years now, and Suzanne's been with me 10 years on that journey. So we've had lots of good times and lots of ups and downs, which is part of the business. But we got a phone call about Isagenix from a doctor friend of ours, Dr. Jerry Shaw from America, and about just on 6 years ago. And at the time, Suzanne and myself, we'd lost everything, we were broke, and we'd come from another company we're semi-retired in Bali, and everything was going good. Then one day, we went to the office and closed on us overnight. So we were devastated. We'd come back to Australia with our tail between our legs, and we were just, that was it for us, because we were in our late 50s, and we thought, it's too late to start again. Anyway, we got a phone call from Jerry, and I had a lot of time and respect for him. He's a real professional. And at the time, when I come back from Bali, I was 114 kilos. So I had a big fat stomach, and I was totally stressed out, and I was really down and out, really. And Suzanne wanted nothing to do with the industry or the business ever again. So Kathy Coover rang us up, and Suzanne refused to talk to Kathy. So that's how bad she was at the time. And now Suzanne is probably one of the biggest and speaks from the heart about Isagenix. She loves Isagenix, and I love Isagenix. So in my 30 years, I've been with 4 different companies. And without a doubt, this is the best company that I've ever been with, because Kathy and Jim and John Anderson, they don't speak from the head, they speak from the heart. So that's what I really loved. We really connected with them. And Suzanne and myself, we sat down with Jim and Kathy for about 3 hours. And Suzanne had 3 or 4 pages of Phil Scout paper with questions. They answered all the questions with integrity and honesty, and they were open. And so we just fell in love with them, and then we just fell in love with the company and the products. And, in my first 30 days, I lost 10.5 kilos and 12 inches of my body. And Suzanne, I lost 5.5 kilos and 11 inches of her body. And in 90 days, I lost 28 kilos and 29 inches of my body. So we were ecstatic, and I was ecstatic. And this is the healthiest and fittest I've been in 30 years. And, I feel fantastic, actually.
Well, and you bloody look fantastic too, James Bond, by the way.
Yes.
I
know. Yeah, I know. No. No, I just turned 84 last week. Yeah.
That joke never gets old. It never gets old. One day you will be 84. You'll be like Jimmy the Butcher, and you'll have to change that to 94 or 104 because you'll still look like you're about 54.
Oh, I know.
Hey, listen.
But the great thing about it, I know that I will be like Jimmy Smith because I know that I will be like Jimmy Smith because I just love this industry. I love the people, and I love helping and sharing and caring. And I know Suzanne feels the same. So this is our life. So that's what we want to do: share it.
That's awesome. And that's why we've got you on the call tonight, because it is your life and it has been your life for so long. So if we go back before Isagenix, I know you said you're with 4 companies. What made you start network marketing? How old were you then when you first actually started your first company, and why? And did you get any backlash back then? Like what was the thought around people like yourself at that age getting into network marketing?
Well, at the time, like going back in those days, I was in the police force. So I got put out of the police through stress. I had a nervous breakdown. I had lots of bad things happening. My mate was killed in the Hilton bombing. My son had passed away, and I just really lost the plot. So I was down and out. And so I went to the police doctor, and he told me to learn how to relax. So then I went to learn how to relax, and then from there I started doing personal development. And then at the personal development, I was lucky for a guy to mentor me, a guy called Paul Blackburn, and he took me under his wing and taught me about personal development. And so there I met some people from Amway, and I joined Amway 30 odd years ago. And then I was lucky enough to meet Jim and Nancy Dornan, who a lot of you might not have heard of, but they set up Network 21, and their personal turnover in Amway was $5 billion. $5 billion personal turnover. So they helped and taught and mentored me with a couple called Peter and Debbie Cox. So going back 30 years, I've been lucky enough to have some great mentors. And I still believe that the things I learned 30 years ago, I'm still using today because, times haven't changed. This is still all about building relationships and sharing and caring and building from the heart, not the head.
So did you have any naysayers, any people, family or friends around you that kind of thought you were crazy back then getting into network marketing? Did they, we call them haters now. And how'd you deal with them?
Yes. Everybody's always been like that, and the times haven't changed. Sometimes I think things might have got a little bit worse now because, when I started back then, I really didn't get that to my face. They might have been stabbing me in the back, but I didn't hear about it. You know what I mean? Anyway, but now I think it's just part of the industry because that is their reality. They only know what they know. So one of the major things that I've learned and from David Wood is don't take advice from broken, unhappy people unless you want to end up like them.
Exactly, totally. And I've even seen a few people posting that today on Facebook, and and that's so true. And I know personally, you have friends and family, they only care about us, don't they? And that's why they, if they don't understand network marketing, if they don't understand what we're doing, especially with such a beautiful company like Isagenix, then they're just looking out for us, aren't they?
Yes,
Exactly.
they're coming from a place of love. They're coming from love, and their reality is their reality. Their facts and what they've learned has been handed down from generation to generation, or what they've learned. So, when you understand that, I don't take things personally. If I do hear something, I let it go in one ear and it's straight out the other ear. But I don't take things on personally now because, everybody has their own opinion. And really, I don't give two craps what they think anyway about me because, I know that I come from a place of integrity and I'm doing the very best for myself and our family and helping and caring for others as well. So, their reality is their reality. It's not my reality.
And you've certainly helped thousands and thousands and thousands of families now, create them, create a side income or a substantial income, or or a legacy that they can pass on to their families. So there's going to be thousands and thousands and thousands of people that would thank you for saying yes to network marketing 30 years ago, and then of course finding Isagenix 6 years ago. So can you tell us, why do you think network marketing is perhaps better than a job, or better than owning your own business? Because obviously many of us still do that, and we're starting network marketing on the side, and some of us will eventually be full-time network marketers for sure. Some of us will always maybe stay as a part-time network marketer. So why is it better than a job, and why is it better perhaps than owning your own business?
Okay, well, we've got nearly 64,000 people in our team now. What I've learned over the years that when you know the facts and figures on things out there, so 70% of people hate their job, hate their boss, or both.
Wow.
People out there are looking for a plan B right now. So I've never seen a better time than right now in this industry, without a doubt. The other facts are that 60 to 70% of people are spending more than they're earning, and they're living on their credit cards. So most people can only live, a couple of months without any pay before they start, going broke or lose everything. So there's never been a better time out there than right now. Also, we're part of the 5 fastest growing trends in the world right now. And this is how I start all my conversations. Do you know anybody that wants or needs to lose weight or have some weight management? Do you know anybody that wants better energy and performance in the bedroom? Do you know, I don't actually say the bedroom. Sometimes I throw it in, but energy and bedroom. Do you know anybody who wants better sleep or less stress? Do you know anybody that wants healthy and youthful aging? And this is my number 4 that I always throw in. Do you know anybody that buys online right now? Because I know the figures, 85 to 87% of people buy online now. That's including all their travel and all that. And the only ones that probably don't buy online now is all the older ones, like in their 60s and 70s and 80s and all that sort of stuff, because they're the old school. So, but, the internet has changed the world right now. This is why guys like Warren Buffett, Billionaire, he owns 3 network marketing companies. Richard Branson's just opened his own network marketing. Donald Trump, before he was trying to be president, invested in network marketing companies. So the internet has changed the world, and we're part of that change right now. So while Suzanne and myself are sleeping, we have 20, 30, 40, sometimes 50 people a day join us in the US and Canada while we're sleeping. And obviously, number 5, what I found in my 30 years, people will do more for money than they will for their health, which is crazy, because with Isagenix, we can help people with their health, and we can help people with their wealth. So, to me, this business is an absolute no-brainer, especially right now.
Yeah. And you make it sound like just so perfect. And we know that, I guess. And I think sometimes the hardest thing for us is to convey that to our friends and our family and people that we see have a need for either the health or the wealth. So what would you say is a really easy way or a nice way of introducing Isagenix to somebody who you feel may need one of those solutions? What do you do, Paul? How do you sit down with someone and say, look, I've got something for you?
Well, Suzanne and myself, it took us 12 months to go 1 star. So when Suzanne and myself, we both started, even though we had lots of experience, we focused on the products. And then what happened then is, after the 12 months, 1 star, but then as soon as we started focusing on helping people make money in the business, we went 2 star, 3 star, 4 star in 6 weeks. Because what we found, that by helping people make some money, they shared it with more people. So then we had more people wanting to make extra money. So that was a big learning lesson for us. We know the products were great, and Suzanne can name virtually nearly every ingredient in all the products, but it's not duplicatable. So as soon as we made things really easy, really simple, so an 8-year-old can understand what we're talking about, that's when our business exploded. So out of that 60, say 4,000 people we've got right now, 12, they've all come from 12 people. So we've helped, taught and mentored 12 people. And here's the secret. Out of those 12 people, only 2 of those people are our personally enrolled. So what we did, we dug down deep. We're looking for people. So I'll give you a quick example. The first people who signed up was Helen and Nikki. And Helen and Nikki went millionaires. So then they signed up Tammy, who became a millionaire. Down underneath that, we signed up a Dr. Ranga, who's 4-star. So he signed up Emily Tonkin, who went millionaire. And then Emily signed up her best friend in Canberra called Belinda Taylor. Belinda Taylor put an ad up on Facebook about sleep deprivation for women who just had babies. And then Heidi McCallum saw that. So Heidi McCallum saw that, and then she got involved. And then underneath that, we've got Sarah Jesser and Lauren Petrovic and the Emmas and all these people. So what we did, we're digging deep, looking for gold. That's what we're looking. We're looking for people that are looking for a better way. We're looking for people with entrepreneur spirit. We're looking for people who want a better lifestyle. And that's the people we look for. And then when we find them, we just keep on going down and down and down and down. And that's why we've got 5 millionaires in our team right now. And there's another couple of millionaires coming up because we've worked with them and they've built their businesses. And then underneath them, we've got some amazing leaders because it's all the way duplicated down. But we try to keep it really easy and really simple, which is very, very important. Because what I found a lot of time in this business, people try and change things around. I know better. I can do this better. Trust me, I've tried every one of those things. I've done all those things myself. There is no better way than just following the system and keeping things really easy and simple.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It's so good to hear, and I've heard bits of that, but to hear kind of the lineage of people, you know, going down and how deep that can be. And the great thing about the compensation plan with Isagenix is it just pays as deep as ever. So in comparison, I guess, to Isagenix, because we sometimes speak to network marketers from other companies. In comparison, how have you found Isagenix as a network marketing company compared to, you obviously you don't need to name them, but the companies that you've been with and then the companies that you've heard about? What kind of makes Isagenix the cream of the crop, like rise above everybody else? Because we are number one in Australia and New Zealand right now, the number one direct sales company.
I think the major thing is, and it comes from the top with Kathy and Jim and John Anderson. They won't compromise on the products, and the great thing about it, they're already wealthy beyond wealthy, so they're not in it for the money. They're like, you know, the company's accumulated sales is over $5 billion now. But they were already wealthy before they started Isagenix. So money is not their driver. It's not their motivator. They want to be the biggest health and wellness company in the world. So they can help people with their health and financial pain. So, you know, that's a great mission statement for a start. Now, I can talk about some other companies because I've worked with them, so I know the numbers. So like Amway started like 55 years ago, and it took them 21 years to reach their first billion. It took Herbalife 24 years to reach their first billion. We will reach our first billion this year in our 15th year. So we're definitely on a trajectory. That's why we're number 22 direct selling company in the world right now, only after 15 years. So when you know the numbers, when you know the facts, and this is a big, big, big business. So when you know these numbers, so 55 years the company, the direct selling has been going, probably nearly 60 years now, but let's say 55 years. There's 65,000 companies that have started in the US alone, direct selling companies. And there's only been 51 companies that have lasted 10 years or longer with accumulated sales of $1 billion. Isagenix is one of those 51 companies. So, and that's only after 15 years with 5 billion accumulative sales. So in Australia, we're in boom times right now. We're in massive momentum. In 2013, our sales were 32 million. In 2014, our sales were 152 million. So that's nearly 400% growth. So if people know that if any company had 10 to 20% growth, they'd be happy. But 400% is absolutely crazy. Last year, in 2015, we did 182 million. This year, we'll probably do between 200 to 220 million, and we're only just getting started. So, you know, it's exciting times ahead. I'm excited, you know, more than I am 30 years ago, because I can see what's happening. You know, it is exciting. Like Suzanne and myself just got back from Jakarta yesterday, and we presented to, you know, a couple of hundred people over there, and they're excited in Jakarta.
Yeah, and I know, I mean, I was lucky enough to go to Arizona to Isagenic's new head office and really witness where it all happens, meet the people that are building the company. We went to John Anderson's ranch. We saw where he started, where he spends a lot of time in his lab there formulating new products, testing all the ingredients. We spent time with him. He's such a beautiful man, him and his family. And so, you know, I've been blessed to kind of get the belief in the background of Isagenics by having visited that. And I can only pass it on to others. And I think there are so many other things too that kind of separate Isagenics from other companies, as well as the training and support that we offer. Have you got anything to add to that? So in terms of training, support, and even the compensation plan behind our company?
Yeah, great question. As you know, I said the 4 companies, they didn't have the personal development. You had to go find your own personal development, or they had their own personal development at the big events. But with us having David Wood is one of the best personal development trainers that I've ever seen. So we have an amazing opportunity. You know, Suzanne has been 11 times to see David Wood, and Suzanne, I've been about 7 times, and I'm really excited about going there tomorrow. The thing I like about what David teaches, he teaches the basic step-by-step and also the skills. So we have a step-by-step guide of what to do and what to say, and giving you the belief in the company, in the products, in the industry. So in this industry, I see a lot of people don't believe they're deserving and worthy of success, or they don't believe they've got a 10 out of 10 belief in themselves, and they don't have a 10 out of 10 belief in the industry. That's the 2 that we have to work on, is having those beliefs, because when you have those beliefs, you become 10 foot tall and bulletproof. That's why we always focus on having a big why. So Suzanne and myself, why is to help our children and our grandchildren. By working hard for 2 to 5 years, we've now left a legacy for our children and our grandchildren. That's why I truly believe that we became 10 foot tall and bulletproof, because I don't care what anybody said, because when I focused on my kids and children, nothing was going to stop me from me going to the top of the mountain. And I told my friends, I'm going to the top of the mountain with you or without you. If I fall off the mountain, I'm going to get back up, and I'm going to keep on going till I get to that top of the mountain. And then a lot of them said, well, you know, let's wait and see. Well, I said, yeah, you wait and see. I'm going anyway. So, you know, now a lot of those people, the very first person I signed up did not re-enroll for his $25. He's now got 44,000 people under that line. He rang me up and said, how's that ISA thing you're going? I said, that ISA thing that I'm doing is going okay. And I said, you know, and then when I told him the figures, what we're earning and all that sort, he said, oh my God, I've made a big mistake. And I said, yeah. And I said, if you want to re-enroll, you can re-enroll down the bottom under the 44,000.
Did he?
No.
Of course not. He'd be like, oh God. He just
Yeah, but see, I had the posture. I didn't care, I didn't, so I'm not about going out and getting people. I'm about going out and just sharing and caring and helping for those people, because it's like when you get the starfish, you see the starfish on the beach and there's thousands of them. But, somebody comes up to you and say, well, you can't save them all, but you can save some. And then those people can go out and share, and they become your sharers as well. So that's the secret. Is sharing, is caring.
Yeah, and finding the starfish. Oh, that's beautiful. Wow, I don't really want to ask another question, because that was sensational. I do have one more question though, and this might help someone out there. You never know. So if you had to start all over again, because you've already done it a couple of times, but if you had to start all over again and someone came to you and you know now what you know about isogenics, right? You know it. You've got all the belief in every area, the products and everything, but you didn't have that. But then all of a sudden you had to start again. Someone said, "Here, let's do isogenics," and you know what you know. What would you do first and foremost? What would you do?
Well, I'd become a better you. First, personal development is so important. If you don't believe you're deserving and worthy of success, you'll sabotage. You might get to a certain level. I've done it many times. I've got to a certain level, then I've self-sabotaged, and then the belief come in, oh, you're not good enough, or let's go back to where I was, or you don't deserve that money, so you lose it. And so reading great books. I love reading the self-development books. I've read hundreds and hundreds of books, and this is a never-ending journey. I still, to this day, I still read books virtually every day. But now I read Playboy, so that doesn't help me much, but, so... No, I'm still reading great books now. I love John Maxwell books on leadership. I love all those sort of books. John Maxwell's one of my favourites. I love Eric Worre. He's another great favourite. But I love reading books on self-development. So if I was you, I'd be read for 2 weeks. Just get your brain, get your mindset right for 2 weeks, or read these books and listen to some great seminars. Go to seminars. Listen to webinars. And David Wood's got some great stuff on personal development. He's interviewed some amazing people. So getting your head right first, and then having a big why, understanding your why, and then become a massive expert in the compensation plan. What I find is most people are not experts in the compensation plan. They just know so much. But I studied the compensation plan, so I understood it. Because when I'm talking to professionals, a lot of people I know are leaving a lot of money on the table because they don't understand the compensation plan. So it's really important to, do personal development is number one. Number two is have a massive why, because when you do your personal development, your why will change as well. And then number three is learn the compensation plan. And obviously number four is you must take the products, because if I didn't get great results on the products, I would not be here. So, with having amazing results, and Suzanne having amazing results, we haven't missed being on the products for over 5 years now. So we love the products. We're still taking them every day. And in Indonesia, we said, we've got a question, how long are you going to be on these for? And, we said, obviously we're going to be on it for the rest of our lives, because why would we go back to where we were when we feel so great now? I'm just so excited right now, and especially with maybe England and Europe opening up next year. We're just getting started. Trust me. We're only in 14 countries right now, so it's exciting times. When we open up England and Europe, and then we open up in like Thailand and the Philippines down the track, and Korea and Japan, but the world is our oyster. Here's something to really know. I'll finish on this. It took Isogenics 8 years to reach our first billion. It took Isogenics 3 years to reach our second billion. It took Isogenics 2 years to reach our third billion. It'll take Isogenics 1 year to reach our fourth billion. So in the next 2 to 5 years, I envisage we'll go from $1 billion a year up to $2 to $3 billion a year very, very quickly, because we'll have massive, massive momentum, and you're all in the right place at the right time. You know, so I'm excited. Oh, geez, I've got to run to the toilet. I'm excited.
Oh, that's fantastic. We might let you do that then, so because we don't want any accidents, do we, in your lovely office?
Yeah, no, I don't want to wet the bed.
Thank you so
much. Thanks, everybody.
So very much, Paul. Mwah. We love you, and we won't see you, these people listening won't see you there, because by the time they hear this, it'll be after University in Action. So just a reminder to everyone, the next event, especially in Sydney, that we have coming up is on the 14th of June in DY, and it's all about energy and performance. And we've got Dirk Venter, Matt Dunning, Shelley Gorman, who have I missed? Lockie Horner, myself, and Heidi. She's going to be presenting the opportunity meeting, and then I'm going to be emceeing all the athletes, and we're going to be talking about all the new Amped products. So we would love to see you all there. It's going to be an amazing evening. It's just an hour, $10 tickets. The link's in our group. Bring your friends, buy 5 tickets, and just give them to everybody you know who's into energy and performance. Performance in bed. No, not performance in bed. Performance in bed.
I'm there. I'm coming. I'm coming.
All right. Thank you very much. See you, everybody. Thanks, Paul.
Bye.